Agriculture, or farming as it's most commonly referred to, is one of the oldest professions, dating back 12,000 years. But if you are not from a farming family, is the fence too high to pursue a career in agriculture?
Yeah, you probably will always be on the back foot to it because they're in the industry already, whereas you're with going to Eastern and colleges, you're trying to get into the industry, which people always assume you don't know what you're doing. It's quite difficult, even though you've done all the courses and they half teach you what you're supposed to be doing. It's quite difficult.
It's hard, especially coming from a non-agricultural family. You know, it's so hard getting into it with no experience. You sort of feel more obliged to try and prove yourself because you've not got that family name behind you. This is really funny to say, but farming's such a generational thing. You know, there's people's dads, granddads, great-granddads, you know, the same farms for hundreds of years. And you come into it not having that farm behind you, not having that family name behind you, or in an area that you're not known. It's very, very difficult.
So it would seem if farming isn't the family business, it can prove a lot harder to get into the industry. In fact, only 5% of the UK's agricultural workforce in 2024 was under 35 years old. However, not everyone agrees with this.
I think the preconception has always been there. Perhaps farming and agriculture, perhaps from an external point of view, may seem to have, say, barriers to external talent coming into it. But I would refute that because I think we're an industry which does need really good skills in certain areas, and those don't necessarily come from the way you're brought up or where you're brought up.
The Labour government has just announced their plans to introduce an inheritance tax on farmers from April 2026. Which could discourage even those young farmers whose family does have a history in this career.
It might not deter them from getting into it, but it might stop them from getting into it because if their parents can't afford, if they can't afford to pay the taxes, then they're going to lose the farm, basically. So that it will stop them from getting into farming.
If you come from a family farm, you might not be able to live on that family farm in a few years because of the tax, and they might not be able to pay it.
Today, the government has promised 50,000 new apprenticeships for young people, potentially just what the country needs to ensure the next generation of farmers. Vivian Payne, UEA Journalism News.